Let's talk about something a lot of people overthink: when is the right time to start a business? If you're waiting for the stars to align, spoiler alert, they won't. But figuring out when to dive in can be less scary if we break it down into things that actually matter. So, let's talk about it simply and honestly. First off, the right time is not when you have everything perfectly figured out. Waiting for perfection is just procrastination in disguise. Think about it, even the most successful entrepreneurs didn't have a foolproof plan when they started. They had an idea, a drive to solve a problem, and the courage to take the first step. The perfect moment doesn't exist. The moment you start working on your idea is when things start falling into place. Now, let's look at your financial situation. It's not about having a mountain of cash, but you do need a safety net. Starting a business doesn't mean you have to risk it all, quit your job, and hope for the best. In fact, keeping your job while you work on your business in the evenings or on weekends is one of the smartest ways to start. Think of it as your day job funding your dream job. Then, there's your skill set. Are you ready? If you know enough to solve a problem or offer value, you're ready. You don't need to be an expert, you just need to be willing to learn as you go. Some of the most successful entrepreneurs didn't even know how to run a business when they started. They figured it out along the way. Speaking of figuring things out, let's talk about research. If you have an idea, you need to validate it. Does your idea solve a real problem? Are there people willing to pay for your solution? Don't just assume the answer. Test it. Ask potential customers, create a small version of your product or service, and see if people are interested. You'll know you're onto something when people start paying for it. What about your mindset? This might be the most important thing. Are you ready to put in the work? Because let's be real, starting a business takes grit. It's not about being motivated all the time. It's about being disciplined when the motivation fades. The right time to start a business is when you can commit to showing up, even when it's hard. Another question to ask yourself: are you okay with failing? Because failure isn't the opposite of success, it's part of the process. If you're willing to fail, learn, and try again, you're ready. In fact, the fear of failure is often what holds people back, but failure is just feedback. Let's not forget timing in your personal life. Are you in a season of life where you can dedicate time and energy to your business? If you're juggling a million things and barely staying afloat, it might be worth waiting until you can carve out some bandwidth. But don't use that as an excuse forever. Life is busy, and there's never a perfect time. You make time. And here's a big one. Do you know your why? Starting a business is tough, and your why will keep you going when things get rough. Whether it's to achieve financial freedom, solve a problem you're passionate about, or create something meaningful, your why needs to be bigger than the obstacles you'll face. Let's talk trends. The right time to start a business might also depend on the market. Is there a growing demand for what you want to offer? Are there new tools or platforms that make starting easier? Timing doesn't have to be perfect, but paying attention to trends can give you an edge. Starting a business is also about leveraging your existing network. Many people overlook this, but sometimes the people around you can be your first customers, investors, or even partners. Before launching, tap into your friends, colleagues, and acquaintances. Share your idea, ask for feedback, and see if anyone is interested in supporting you or spreading the word. Often, your network can be your first source of momentum. Consider your current resources. What do you already have that can give you an advantage? Maybe you have a skill, access to equipment, or even free time during specific parts of the day. Assessing your resources allows you to start with minimal investment and reduces the barriers to entry. Don't underestimate the power of your existing job as a training ground. Your current role might be giving you skills that will directly apply to your business. For instance, if you're in sales, you're already learning how to pitch. If you work in marketing, you're learning how to attract customers. Look at your 9-to-5 as a stepping stone rather than a roadblock. Understand that the economy can play a role, but it's not the deciding factor. During economic downturns, many people start successful businesses by solving problems that arise in tough times. On the other hand, during booming economies, there's often more disposable income for people to spend on new products or services. Either way, opportunities exist, you just need to spot them. Let's also talk about starting with a side hustle mentality. Treat your business as a low-risk experiment. When you start small and scale gradually, the pressure is lower and you have room to pivot if needed. It also gives you time to learn about your market without putting everything on the line. Another overlooked factor is documenting your journey. Start sharing your business progress, lessons, and experiences on social media. You'd be surprised how much attention this can generate, and sometimes this attention translates into customers, investors, or collaborations. Plus, it keeps you accountable. Think of partnerships. You don't always have to go it alone. Partnering with someone who has complementary skills or resources can help you cover more ground quickly. For instance, if you're good at creating but not great at selling, partner with someone who thrives in sales. Don't ignore legalities even in the early stages. Make sure your business is compliant with local regulations, has the right licenses, and, if necessary, trademarks your brand. It's easy to skip this step in excitement, but taking care of it early prevents headaches down the road. Another point, embrace automation. Today, there are countless tools that can handle mundane tasks for you. From scheduling social media posts to automating emails or tracking finances, leveraging technology frees up your time to focus on growth and innovation. Think about scalability. Even if you're starting small, plan for growth. A business model that relies entirely on your time may limit you. Consider how you can eventually scale your operations, whether that's hiring, outsourcing, or creating systems that work without your constant involvement. Next, accept that you don't need permission to start. Too often, people wait for someone to validate their idea or tell them they're ready. The truth is, no one knows better than you. If you believe in your idea and are willing to put in the work, that's all the permission you need. Lastly, are you okay with starting small? Too many people think they need to launch big, but starting small lets you test your idea, learn what works, and grow sustainably. Small steps add up. The bottom line is this: starting a business is less about waiting for the right time and more about creating the right mindset and conditions for yourself. There's no magic moment, but every small action you take today can lead to something big tomorrow. The right time is whenever you decide to take that first step, and why not start today?